Thomas Miller. I'd like to just say a few words. I'd like to thank you everyone for coming, especially right before the holiday. What we're trying to do is put out a new embassy message, increasing opportunities through trade. This is a message that the embassy is going forth for the next few months. Thomas Miller is the U.S. Embassy Mission Director of Communication.
Old friend Shahid Khan and my new friend Awi Khan. This type of program is always very useful, and I think that just the fact that you're here now together is a success and broader participation. You probably know that Secretary of State Clinton and the Global Entrepreneurship Program coordinates the efforts and resources of about 125, encouraging a supportive regulatory and policy environment and celebrating the success of entrepreneurs. So that's a very ambitious program, but it's very hard to have real success if you do one and not really succeed. And so these come as a program if you want to really have a success. This initiative resulted in the Istanbul Global Entrepreneurship Summit, and I know some of you here participated in that. As far as the embassy is gatherers of medicinal plants and gave them training, connected them to financing, connected them to the global network. This was all in conflict areas, and now that means that you have many more opportunities, and you have to bump up your knowledge, you have to educate yourself what's happening in a country on the other side of the globe, which may become your competitor. And so I think that all of these efforts, Awais Khan, who is the President and CEO of the American Pakistan Foundation.
Thanks, Tom. Let me just first introduce the American Pakistan Foundation. I'll also provide a brief introduction to myself as well. So American Pakistan Foundation was started in December 2009. We had our official launch. And our mission is to catalyze economic development and social change in Pakistan. Prior to joining APF, I was in venture capital sector. I looked at the financial services sector, also the tech sector too. I think the thing to remember is, I think, just like Tom mentioned, for entrepreneurship to really happen, you need an ecosystem around you. An ecosystem means that you're not looking for just funding, you're looking for social media. Then that person is surrounded by one, access to capital and cheap capital, and second is access to people they can learn from and build their network from, so that they have opportunities to build suppliers, customers, buyers, all of that. What I found, at least back when I was doing this, was that certain elements of that ecosystem were probably missing. I think number one being access to capital and cheap capital. And I think number two now that I can see is access to that. I think that's exactly where the opportunities exist too. So I think 55% of the population of Pakistan still doesn't have access to electricity, and there are brilliant solutions out there now which are solar solutions, some are hydro solutions. So I think if somebody has a risk appetite, they can take them on. I think the second one I would say is financial services. I mean, most of Pakistan still lacks access to financial services. And third, I would say, is definitely media. While media has played a substantial role in Pakistan and has done very well.
And it's a pleasure to introduce my good friend Shahid Khan. Shahid Khan is one of the recognized experts in America on Pakistan. He's been very active in politics in the States. We've cooperated with him very closely on many projects. In fact, yesterday you were...
Well, first of all, thank you very much. My name is Shahid Khan, and I'm based in Boston, but I maintain residences in Lahore and Islamabad as well. Tom Miller, thank you so very much. And this is a great initiative. We work on the strategic communication, a company based in Washington, D.C., and we are trying to improve the communication abilities of Ministry of Narcotic Control and Ministry of Information Broadcasting. This is the way it's going to be. Trust me on that. And it's not going to be G2G relationship. It's going to be, if you think that something is going to change and it's going to be a dramatic situation tomorrow and they will be all friends, now the Pakistani Americans can want to pay back to their country where they came from, the Mexican Americans and Chinese American, Indian American, work. I think in these kind of communities, the regions, you know, are actually dictated by, or not dictated, but actually it's shared by the diaspora, who is actively, socially and politically involved in the U.S. jurisdictions in Southeast Asia. And as you know, in India, this is happening now. Apollo is one of the largest healthcare provider for the UK's healthcare in India. So I mean, you know, this medical tourism is a big deal. I mean, and that can happen anywhere because the diasporas in the United States are getting older and then others spend time and going through some sort of a surgery in their native or their place of birth and half the cost, so it's good for everybody. So I think that area can be
given us this opportunity, which is really need of the time. Ms. Thomas, as you said, today's topic is building the bridges. I must congratulate you that you have already built the bridge. And today, this meeting is the outcome of that. That we, being the Pakistani entrepreneur, sitting with the overseas entrepreneurs, especially from America, and trying to come on a platform where we feel comfortable to start the business and to increase the relationship. That is the topic of today. So I congratulate for that. One thing I must say, that while talking about the international trade, the business community only look for the opportunities. And as the lady said, yes, we do have the opportunities here. Mr. Abbas, you said that the security of the capital, so I'm sure about my government, our government has provided at all levels security for the capital here and as well as the transfer of the capital with the investments and returns. So it's not an issue at all. Just small thing to do at both the end is that, as we all know, while talking about G2G, there are different motives, but we need B2B. And over and above, we need the relationship among the real-time business players. Those who mean business and those who want to do business. I'm pretty sure about my nation that we are capable enough, and we have proven at all levels that Pakistanis are the one, they are the true entrepreneurs and they are the true businessmen. One thing I must say, that while talking about the latest equipment, system, gadgets, yes, it was a problem for our country. But today, we are the third generation entrepreneurs, businessmen. Our forefathers were the self-made people, but we have taken the business from them and we are moving ahead to our coming generation. They are the young entrepreneurs which is really need to have a global access and to move internationally. That's what our motive is too, and I'm glad to know about this APF organization as well. We assure you, I being the representative of the Chamber of Commerce, having a membership of 5,000 businessmen, we assure you that wherever you want, we are with you. We will prove that yes, we mean business. Thank you.
Since you mentioned bridges, I just wanted to describe just for a minute, you know, some of the U.S. aid programs, which I think are making the type of bridges you're talking about. One of the themes of aid is value chains, and you could say from farm to fork. And for example, in the Punjab, we were interested in helping farmers export mangoes. You know, as you know, Pakistan has probably the best mangoes in the world. But if you're going to export mangoes, you have to have a quality of mango that will make it international. Okay, so let's assume, so we worked with the farmers on the quality, but then how are you going to get the mangoes outside of the immediate district of the farm? Well, you need to develop a factory which produces the cartons to send it out. Okay, so then the factory comes into being, but then how are you going to get the cartons outside of the district? Well, then you've got a road issue and the transportation issue. And so we have worked on these value chains all the way from farm to fork. And what happens is the improved mango production results in a factory, more jobs. That results in better road construction, so all kinds of other businesses can benefit, not just mangoes. And so what happens is that development in one little area spurs development in everything else, and it's a cascade. And this is one of the big advantages of entrepreneurship, is that a mango farmer indirectly may be helping somebody in a totally different business.
Trying to find my
Yeah, मैं ये समझता हूँ कि इसके सबके forums पाकिस्तान में बहुत ज़रूरत है। इस वक्त just so happened in that state, Amazon ने ये facilitate की, but I think we entrepreneurs के लिए, especially young entrepreneurs के लिए, that's the way to go. इस हमारे इसमें पाकिस्तान में कोई चीज़ जा सकती है और नहीं जा सकती है। तो यही लोग हैं जो पाकिस्तान को इनके इंडेक्स से चले जा सकते हैं और पाकिस्तान डेवलपमेंट कर सकते हैं, पाकिस्तान people to people relationship with कर सकते हैं। Very मैं तो हैरान होता हूँ इतना टैलेंट है पाकिस्तान में और समझ के अंदर नहीं आता है, नहीं होता, पर उसके लिए इस किस्म के फोरम्स की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है। और मेरा ख्याल है जो चैम्बर्स हैं और वो इनको फैसिलिटेट भी करना चाहिए इस किस्म के फोरम्स को, और international help to seek education. It's not just about the rest of the world.
नाज़रीन, इस वक्त हमारे साथ हैं हमारे आज के इस प्रोग्राम के बारे में आपको बताएंगे। आप कैसे
कोशिश ये कर रहे हैं कि पाकिस्तान के कारोबारी उनका कानून बनाया जा रहा है। पाकिस्तान में बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ है, यहाँ लोग बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं काम। हमारा नेगेटिव इमेज है, हम अपने इमेज को बेटर करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। इससे दो तीन चीज़ें इससे निकलेंगी ऐसे प्रोग्राम से। एक तो हमारा इमेज बेहतर होगा, हमारी बेहतर मार्केटिंग होगी, हम अपने बिजनेस कनेक्ट करेंगे अमेरिका के बिजनेसेस और लोगों के साथ। और
अभी यहाँ पर कहा गया कि सदर ओबामा बहुत जल्द एक बिजनेस पॉलिसी अनाउंस करने वाले हैं, स्पेशली फॉर एंटरप्रेन्योर के लिए, जिसमें यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को बहुत सारे। आप क्या समझते हैं यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं तो किस तरह आपस में
लिंकेजेस के साथ आ सकते हैं? ये एक फोरम है जिसके थ्रू आ सकते हैं, और भी बहुत सारे फोरम्स हैं। हमें और ज़्यादा सोल्यूशंस क्रिएट करने हैं। अब आज के दौर में जब कम्युनिकेशन बहुत आसान है, फिजिकली मिलने की ज़रूरत नहीं है। ईमेल्स, इंटरनेट, वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंस कॉल्स एक्सेट्रा एक्सेट्रा तमाम चीज़ों के ज़रिए कनेक्ट हो सकता है। और जो आप बात कर रहे हैं सदर ओबामा वहाँ पे बात कर रहे हैं करने के लिए, मेरे ख्याल से हमारे मुल्क के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी है। हमारे लिए तो सर्वाइवल की बात है। हमें अपना जो पोटेंशियल है ना, 65% से जो 65% लोग जो यंग देने के लिए, हम इंसेंटिव देने के लिए हम रिस्पेक्ट।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। हमारे साथ इस वक्त
This is a great opportunity for people with different areas of expertise to share their experiences and actually create a network. One of the things that we're going to be trying to do is in March is a young entrepreneurship conference. Find out about financing, business plans, to get mentoring from experienced business people. This will probably take place in the fall.
So what do you think, that only the entrepreneurs from Pakistan are going to be invited there, or from the states as well?
We will bring people from the states as well. The focus will be on Pakistan.
So are you taking along the Chamber of Commerce on the board?
Absolutely. We have to have their workers on board to make a success of this program.
Thanks a lot. I congratulate you and wish you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, as you said, where is this conference is going to be held?
The conference will take place in Islam, but it will involve Lahore, Karachi, and all over Pakistan.
And you are inviting the people from abroad as well, especially from states?
Some people from the states will come as well. Share experience.
I mean, Messi is going to take care of this conference.
We are sponsoring it.
You are sponsoring the conference. And you have taken along the Chamber of Commerce.
Absolutely.
Is it the many Chamber of Commerce, Federation, or what? Has many partners. Thank you very much.
नाज़रीन इस वक्त हमारे साथ मौजूद है समीना इस्लामाबाद चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स के प्रेसिडेंट हैं। हम इनसे आज के इस प्रोग्राम के हवाले से पूछते हैं।
आपने समीना क्या समझा आज के इसके हवाले से, आप क्या कहना चाहेंगी? इस्लामाबाद अमेरिकन एम्बेसी इस्लामाबाद में किया, आप कैसे?
ये बहुत मैं समझती हूँ अच्छी राउंड टेबल हुई। यहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोगों की प्रॉब्लम सामने आई और अमेरिका से हमारे लोग आए उन्होंने बड़ी सजेशंस भी की हैं और बड़े होपफुल बातें थी। हम सब लोगों को इससे मिलकर बहुत खुशी हुई और कुछ आगे अपना काम बढ़ाने की है समझती हूँ कि इससे फ़ायदा होगा। और
हमेशा हर जगह प्रोवाइड करती हैं, उनके लिए काम करती हैं। आप क्या समझती हैं इस किस्म के सेक्शन जो हैं ये हमारे मुल्क की ख़वातीन और जो वुमेन एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं उनके लिए क्या फ़ायदा है?
जी देखिए, इस तरह के प्लेटफॉर्म से हम लोग भी जब अपनी प्रॉब्लम्स को हाईलाइट करेंगे तो तभी उनके सोल्यूशंस भी आगे आएंगे। मुझे लगता है ये कि आने वाले वक्तों में इनके साथ मिलकर अंदर काम करेंगे और अपनी जो हमारी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उनके बारे में जो है इनके साथ डिस्कशन चलती रहेंगी।
बहुत शुक्रिया समीना, थैंक यू।
नाज़रीन हमारे साथ इस वक्त अवैस खान जो अमेरिकन पाकिस्तानी एंटरप्रेन्योर है, ये वहाँ पर बिज़नेस का वसी तजर्बा रखते हैं। हम इनसे पूछते हैं कि आज की इस कॉन्फ्रेंस के हवाले से ये क्या कहना चाहिए। जी अवैस।
जी अवैस खान मेरा नाम है। मैं अमेरिकन पाकिस्तान फाउंडेशन से रन करता हूँ और हम लोगों का मिशन जो है पाकिस्तान में ग्रोथ सोशल वर्क के लिए जो भी चीज़ें ज़रूरी हैं उनके लिए बड़ा मिशन है। ये वाली जो आज फोरम हुआ है इसका मकसद ये था कि जो भी पाकिस्तान के यंग बिजनेसमैन हैं या यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स हैं उनको मौका दिया जाए यूएस के एंटरप्रेन्योर्स से लिंक करने का, उनको प्रोवाइड किया जाए प्लेटफॉर्म लोगों से मिलने का, डिस्कशन करने का, राउंड टेबल करने का। ज़्यादा मकसद इसका ये था कि लोगों को इकट्ठा किया जाए एक फोरम के अंदर और उन लोगों को फीडबैक दिया जाए कि क्या चीज़ें हो सकती हैं, जिसमें जाए कि हम लोग वहाँ पर रह के उनके लिए क्या कर सकते हैं।
बहुत शुक्रिया। जैसा अभी आपने कहा, आपकी ये जो अमेरिका पाकिस्तान फाउंडेशन है इसका चैप्टर यहाँ इस्लामाबाद में इस वक्त वर्किंग है, आपके यहाँ पर भी मेंबर हैं?
जी हमारा यहाँ पे एक पाकिस्तान लीडरशिप काउंसिल भी है और हमारी एडवाइजरी बोर्ड भी है। और जो पाकिस्तान लीडरशिप काउंसिल है उसमें यहाँ के टॉप मल्टीनेशनल के CEOs हैं, कुछ सोशल सेक्टर से हैं, कुछ प्रोडोमिनेंट लोग हैं डेवलपमेंट सेक्टर के, और वही हमारे दे आर आइज एंड ईयर्स ऑफ अस। इसके अलावा हमारे सेक्टर एडवाइजरी बोर्ड्स भी हैं कि हेल्थ केयर में अगर हमें काम करना है तो हमसे पूछते हैं कि इसको फोकस करना चाहिए, एनर्जी में करना है तो इस तरह ही हो। तो हम लोगों का यहाँ पे प्रेजेंस है लेकिन एज सच चैप्टर एज सच नहीं, लेकिन प्रेजेंस ठीक है।
इस आज के स्पेशल फोरम के हवाले से जो कि अमेरिकन एम्बेसी ने खास तौर पर अरेंज किया, आप क्या समझते हैं आइंदा भी अमेरिकन एम्बेसी इस तरह के प्रोग्राम करेगी और आप साथ होंगे?
जी आई थिंक उन लोगों का भी फोकस ये है कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा यहाँ के बिजनेसेस को प्रमोट किया जाए, यहाँ के बिजनेसेस को वहाँ के बिजनेसेस लिंक किया जाए, पीपल टू पीपल एक्सचेंजेस ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा की जाए। तो मेरा ख्याल है कि उन लोगों का ये मैंने शुरू में भी कहा था कि ट्रेड नॉट एड न्यू फोकस, मेरा ख्याल है ये काफ़ी ज़्यादा प्रोग्राम्स में करते रहेंगे। हम जो भी अगर हमारे लिए हमारे मिशन से वो साथ चला उसके तो आई थिंक
बहुत शुक्रिया। नाज़रीन आज के इस प्रोग्राम के हवाले से मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि
अमेरिकन एम्बेसी ने अभी अपना फोकस चेंज किया है और लगता यूँ है कि अब ज़्यादातर जो है वो एंटरप्रेन्योर्स की डेवलपमेंट के लिए, एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के आपस में राब्ते के लिए ज़्यादा काम करेंगे। जैसा कि लास्ट टाइम हमें अमेरिकन एम्बेसडर ने ये कहा था कि आने वाले वक्त में यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा काम करेंगे। आइए चलते हैं, यहाँ पर हमारे साथ एक यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर है। आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे? You being the young entrepreneur?
I'm Sundis. I'm a fashion design graduate from the University of Islamabad. My MBA degree at the moment. I think this is a very good platform for all of us to get together and discuss our ideas and see how we can be motivated, because I think Pakistan has a very big gap here for young entrepreneurs to grow. And actually people from all over the world are coming here, opening business, international businesses here, and all of our money is just going out, being wasted. Basically, I think we should all be Pakistanis, we should all open our own businesses here, keep our money inside our country basically, and grow Pakistan instead of getting to these other people who are.
सुंदर साहब, अभी जो आज प्रोग्राम किया गया अमेरिकन एम्बेसी के हवाले से, जिसमें उनका मोटिव ये नज़र आता है कि उन्होंने यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स को बहुत ज़्यादा आपस में, यंग एंटरप्रेन्योर्स पाकिस्तान के, अमेरिका के, उनको मिलाना है और उनका राब्ता बढ़ाना है। आप क्या समझती हैं आगे फर्दर क्या होना चाहिए?
Basically, the problem is of finances and government, and even of education, because we are afraid to invest in our money and start, because this is what the most important thing is, invest in money.
कैमरामैन शहजाद के साथ